Alright, so for this video, I wanted to talk about apophenia. Apophenia is finding meaning and connections in the unrelated. Why did I want to talk about apophenia? Kasi napapansin ko more and more, whether bago yung trader or they've been trading for a while, a lot of people have been complaining na, oh, bakit hindi gumana to? Or bakit nung tinitignan ko to, nung nagbabacktest ako, gumagana siya, bakit nung ginawa ko, hindi siya nag-work? Okay? And in order to answer that, we need to have a discussion on what apophenia is, what it does, and how we can overcome it, for lack of a better term, moving forward. So, humans are programmed to seek patterns, even in things that are genuinely random. This is a survival skill. It's safer to assume that a slightly suspicious sight or sound is a danger and flee unnecessarily than to ignore the rustling wind in the grass. Okay, meaning, kunyari naglalakad ka sa gubat, okay, tapos nakita mo or narinig mo na medyo gumalaw yung damo. So, essentially, mas safe na iwasan na lang natin yung patch ng damo na yun. Baka nga naman ahas. Kaysa na wag natin pansinin. Tapos dire-diretso tayo, baka nga may ahas doon. Okay? So, we hear a sound or we see a movement and then matik, ang utak natin, uy, may ahas. It's how Occam's razor came to be. When you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. Diba? We automatically connect something, anything, to another thing kasi yun yung naka-built-in sa atin. Now, apophenia is well documented as a rationalization for gambling. Gamblers may imagine that they see patterns in the number or numbers which appear in card games or roulette wheels. Diba? Minsan, feel ng mga nagsusugal, oh, 3 beses na lumabas yung 9 saka yung 5 sa table. So, hindi nalalabas siya ng pang-4 na beses. Diba? Or kung kunyari, nagko-poker tayo, teka, yung last 3 hands, puro flash puro flashes, or puro same color, diba? Puro flash. So, baka yung next hand, flash na naman. Kasi hawak ko ngayon, 2 pula 2 diamond Tapos yung nasa river and yung naka-flop, may 1 diamond na. So magka-flash ulit yan. Or something to that degree. No? One variation of this is known as the gambler's fallacy. Now, this fallacy, quote-unquote, is also prevalent with traders who imagine they're seeing self-fulfilling prophetic fallacies using various indicators and pattern recognition tools on charts. Now, this is just an example and it doesn't necessarily mean na sinusumbatan ko to But kunyari, nakikita natin na kapag yung MACD nag-crossover, tutuloy yan, lilipad na yan. Or kunyari, okay, yung RSI nag-break above 50 or RSI nasa overbought na or RSI nasa oversold na. Ganito na yung mangyayari. O di naman kaya, uy, nakakita tayo ng cup and handle pattern. So, ang mangyayari niyan, iasaabutin na niya yung pattern target, which is yung bottom of the cup flip-top. Diba? And so on and so forth. But, why do these things happen? Talaga nga bang nangyayari yung nangyayari kasi nakakita tayo ng cup and handle? Kasi nag-crossover yung MACD? Kasi nag-crossover yung RSI? Kasi nag-oversold? Kasi nag-overbought? Kasi stochastics did this? Or kasi CCI did that? So how can we ensure we're not experiencing apophenia? That our patterns, or what we look for, are relevant to trading and our strategy involving technical analysis will potentially deliver results? The answer is we can't. At least not fully. Kasi there are no guarantees in trading. Now, I am sure na maraming nagtitrade ng MACD strategy. And again, I'm just using this as an example, ha? Please, walang magko-comment na, hindi, ginagamit ko yung MACD, kumikita ako ng 5,000% taon-taon. Example lang po. I am sure maraming gumagamit ng MACD strategy na nakikita nila where kapag nagkaroon ng crossover, lumilipad yung stock, pero marami ring pagkakataon na nakikita nila na nagko-crossover pero walang nangyayari or bumabaksak ang price. Or kunwari, gumagamit ng Ichimoku and then nagkaroon ng Kumo breakout pero hindi tumutuloy. Yes, there are times na tumutuloy siya, but meron din ako sure na mga pagkakataon na hindi siya tumatakbo, na hindi siya tumutuloy, na bumabaksak lang at napapakat-loss tayo. Maraming mga instances that price will hit a Fibonacci level exactly and then react from there. Pero I'm sure din na maraming mga instances that price will hit the same level using the same methodology for drawing out those levels and do absolutely nothing. Diba? I'm sure lahat yun na-experience nyo na. And the reason for that is simple. Price doesn't have to do anything you want, anything we want. The market will do what it does regardless of what we do, regardless of what we believe in, regardless of what we see. It will continue doing what needs to be done, and that's it. Whether or not we're happy with the results, wala na siyang pakialam. Diba? So, anong dapat natin gawin? Okay, ano ang dapat natin gawin? Ang dapat natin gawin is kung meron tayong strategy na ginagamit, whether that's trading from using a ascending wedge or whatever, falling wedge, if you're using an ascending triangle, if you're using flags, if you're using Elliott wave, if you're using Ichimoku, if you're using MACD, we need to know the proper data and statistics behind the strategy that we use. It's not enough that we're able to find an X number of charts or trades na nagsasabi na gumana yun. Madali lang, I promise you. Randomly choose any two MAs or EMAs or whatever you want to use and then look through certain number of charts and I'm sure kaya mo makakita ng 30 quote-unquote trades or 30 quote-unquote executions where price bounce exactly from that MA. As in, perfect. I am 100% sure na makakakita kayo ng ganon. How do I know? I've done it. So you need to take the strategy that you use. You need to be able to backtest it without bias. And then you need to be able to extrapolate the data that you take from there into a working strategy for you. You need to know, how often does this work? How often does this not work? In what market conditions does this particular strategy work best? I'm not saying it's going to work perfectly because there's no such thing. But in what market condition does this type of crossover or this type of indicator work best? And then you need to refine what you do based on those results. We need to continually update our strategy and our plan. We need to monitor and keep track of the validity of our edge. So just because nag-trade tayo using Ichimoku Kumo breakout and it's been working for a few trades, it doesn't mean that it's going to keep working forever. So we keep track of it. All edges deteriorate over time, no exceptions. The market is ever changing. It does what it does. And you need to keep adapting and you need to keep changing in order to be able to keep up with what the market is doing. If you intend to be profitable through most market cycles, then you need to know what needs to be done when the market is doing X or doing Y. So a good example of this is I keep track of how often price returns to the Monday open or Sunday open of FX pairs that I trade. So for example, in Euro USD, price tends to return to Monday open or Sunday open, whatever you want to call it, around 70+% of the time. I think my last track of that was 72% of the time. That's a valid edge. And then I check na on Tuesdays, kadalasan nangyayari yung return to Monday open. Okay? So, what do I do with that? If I know that price returns to Monday often, a lot of the time, and I know it happens mostly on Tuesdays, kapag sa Tuesday, may pattern or may setup na nag-occur that could lead me to trade towards the Sunday or Monday open, then I'll take it. And maybe I can risk a little bit more knowing that statistics are on my side, that the data is on my side, the probability is on my side. But I always keep track of that. Every week, I note it down. I note down what's happening because I need to know if nagde-deteriorate na yung edge na yon. For all I know, after this year, baka bumaba na yung from 72% to 50%. And then there's no longer an edge. And I have to get rid of using that strategy. And the only way that I can know that is to continually update yung ginagawa ko. And you do that by using your journal, by using Excel, or whatever you prefer to keep track of it. Just because you're in profit from what you're doing right now doesn't mean that you'll be in profit doing that forever. You need to keep track of it. It's not enough to know your win-loss. Diba? A lot of people just want to know yung strike rate nila or yung win rate nila. That's not enough. That's not keeping track of your edge. Kasi I am 100% sure most of you don't just trade using one particular strategy. Karamihan ng traders want to trade. That's why we're called traders. Which means that in order to be able to trade, we need to be able to use more than just one or two particular strategies. Diba? Some of us may be discretionary traders, some of us may be systematic traders, but regardless, a lot of us trade using more than one pattern, using more than one strategy, using more than one edge. So, just because you hear it online na, okay, I trade using MACD crossover and I make 5,000%, please, do yourself a favor and huwag kayong maniwala. I-backtest yun ng mabuti. When you backtest, the less bias you can do, the better. Instead of just looking for trades where the MACD crossover works, actually look for trades where it doesn't. And you'll be surprised that there are more trades where it doesn't than trades where it does. Or maybe you'll find out na yung pinagsasabi ko mali. Na nung tinesting nyo pala, lagi siyang gumagana. I don't know. Diba? Na kapag RSI pala, nung tinesting nyo, basta mag-crossover ng RSI 52, may 80% chance na tataas yung presyo by 10%. I don't know. But that's what you need to keep track of. Don't keep track of the patterns. Don't keep track na, oh, may cup and handle. How often does a cup and handle work? You need to know that. Oh, my head and shoulders. How often does a head and shoulders work? How often does the head and shoulders pattern actually hit yung supposed pattern target niya? What invalidates a head and shoulders pattern? Those are what you need to keep track of. Those are what you need to monitor. And I hope, no, kahit papano, may tutunan kayo dito. I am not judging anyone. I am not saying that one strategy is better than another. I am saying that you need to know the efficacy of the strategy that you use. And the only way you know that is through both backtesting and forward testing as unbiasedly as possible. So please, do the work. Kasi pera niya yan eh. Sayang naman. Diba? I hope may natutunan kayo sa video na to. And I hope you found this educational. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. If meron kayong tanong or if meron kayong hindi nagustuhan, please feel free. Post in the comment section. I'll reply. And as always, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And good luck. And also, happy trading.